You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
Welcome everybody to episode number 5 of the Battle Heat Fans podcast. So nice. I had to wear it twice. I don't have a Jaime Jaquez jersey, but I had to rep him. Crazy game by Jaime last night. Solana, as always, joining me. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great, man. Heat are 3-1. Heat are playing faster than ever, and they're putting up points, man. They're putting up a lot of points. Yesterday, 76 points in the first half. Again, this is insane. This is the fastest I've ever seen the Heat play, and it's working for them. It's working. The guys have bought in, and I'm enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying it. The only thing I can say is I've been selling my tickets, so unfortunately, I haven't been able to go to the games.
Well, what's funny is that going from the Jimmy era where everything was kind of just slowed down, ISO, give Jimmy the ball, it's such a huge leap, right? Because a lot of the NBA has been playing fast for a while. Like it's just that the Heat have been kind of slow to get there. So I feel like it feels even faster and even crazier for Heat Nation just because it's just such a drastic change from one year to the next. And last year when Jimmy was out, like even though Jimmy was the one that really slowed down the tempo, they kind of kept that same way of playing even when he wasn't there, and he wasn't there a lot. So when we were slowing things down and we didn't have those players that could kind of pick up Jimmy's load. Last night, Norman Powell's out. Tyler Hero still isn't here. You're wondering, top two scorers, what's going to happen? The way they're playing, the game plan, the pace, it's I don't want to say plug and play and everything's going to be fine because you still need those scores. But, man, like you're going to give yourself a chance to score points the way they're attacking so early in the shot clock.
Absolutely. I mean, look, you mentioned it. Norman Powell was out last night with an undisclosed injury, and Tyler Hero remains out, and somebody needed to step up, right?
Norman Powell, my understanding, it's a groin injury.
Oof, that's rough because I pulled my groin yesterday playing soccer. So, and I'm in insane pain right now as I sit down during this podcast. But I was gonna say, look, yeah, you're missing your two best scorers, and you needed somebody to step up. And one of the people who stepped up, Bam Adebayo, 26 points. Second leading scorer on the team. Andrew Wiggins had 21 points, and then a big shout out to Pelle Larsson, who. As we are used to in Eric Spoelstra's system, he doesn't like to move around certain players. So you probably thought Jaime Jaquez would slot into the starting lineup. No, he slots in Pelle Larsson, keeps Jaime Jaquez on that second unit, which he's been fantastic leading that second unit. And look, Pelle Larsson responds. Jaime Jaquez, 28 points. I mean, it's I don't know what else to do. I'm going insane talking about this team because I've never seen this before, and I've had season tickets for over 30 years. So I'm as excited as possible. I'm about to sell all my tickets if they're going to continue to play like this.
Well, Pelle Larsson starting, and like you said, they try not to move things around too much. If you're the sixth man, you're going to stay the sixth man, so on and so forth. But I think everybody did a great job. Now, in the first quarter, LaMelo Ball was balling. No pun intended. And LaMelo Ball looks so smooth when he's on the ball in that first quarter. He doesn't even jump on his jump shot. So it's interesting watching him play. But I felt like after the first quarter, they locked him down. I think they even went into zone for a while in the game because they Heat, as good as they've been offensively, and I know 117 points in this NBA, like, if you keep it to 117 points, and let's see, what were they shooting? They shot 44 from the field. Like they did a good job defense, especially after that first quarter. LaMelo Ball didn't do much of anything after that. Davion Mitchell, obviously, Bam Adebayo, they're kind of sending the attackers towards the help defense in the back. Like the Heat have just, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but they look 4 games into the season like a legit contender. And I think that most people are saying this. Maybe I'm not getting ahead of myself, but they look like the real deal right now.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people, especially a lot of folks who follow the league, that have said that they are going to choose to watch Miami Heat games this year because of how well they've started off the season, that they look as a really interesting team, a fun team to watch. And I agree, right? The first few games of the season, we've almost put up 100 shots every single game. We've been shooting at a really good clip. And the other thing that we've been doing well is rebounding. Although we lost the rebounding battle last night, 41-37, we've done a fantastic job overall of getting on the glass. You know, yesterday, 8 offensive rebounds, 29 defensive rebounds. But, you know, the stat that I've been extremely impressed with this team is the assists. Yesterday, 34 assists made on 52 field goals. That's, you know, 75% of the field goals that you're making are assisted by somebody. So the fact that they're sharing the ball, they're reversing the ball to the weak side and finding the open player, I mean, it goes to show you that these guys are playing unselfish basketball, and they've really bought into Eric Spoelstra's system.
Well, they're just making such quick decisions, right? They get the ball, and it's not a lot of like, let's move the ball around. Like, it's like attack, and it's working, and it's because they don't give the defense even a chance to set. The defense doesn't have a chance to set before they have Jaime Jaquez running down their throat and yamming it in their mouth. Like, it's been crazy to watch. The score so far this season: 121 against the Magic, which last year were one of the best defensive teams. I'd have to look to see how they are defensively this year. I'm assuming they wouldn't be that much worse. So 121 against the Magic, 146 against the Grizzlies, 115 against the Knicks, another solid defensive team, and then 144 last night against the Hornets. Like, this team is putting up numbers, and it's like you said, fun to watch because it's such a drastic change from what we're used to. Bam Adebayo, how many threes did he hit last night? Because it looks like we're finally getting the Bam that we've been waiting for. He was 3 for 5 from 3. Like, not only because we wanted at least 5 or 6 threes a game at a minimum, and if he could hit half of those, I mean, obviously shooting 50% is, but if you could shoot high 30s, low 40% from 3, I mean, you got like what you need. And remember we were talking about Tyler Hero and what's going to happen when he gets here? It looks like we're going to have Tyler Hero coming in, and if he could be as aggressive as he is and hit his shots when he has the opportunity to shoot those open threes, Tyler Hero is going to be just fine. It looks like anybody that can buy into the system is going to be just fine.
Absolutely. I can't wait till Tyler Hero gets back, right? He's a player who fits right into this system. He's an aggressive player. He likes to hit the 3 ball. He likes to drive and dish. So I think he's going to fit perfectly into Spoelstra's new system this year. And, you know, Danny, I read a stat that the Heat are setting a lot less picks this year. It's a lot more ISO play, a lot more movement off the ball. And I think that's helping them out a lot on the offensive end to find the open player. Because if you remember before, it was usually screened, or double screen and try to – and exactly. And they're just not doing that anymore. They're relying on the fact that their players can take other guys one-on-one off the dribble and find the open player. And I mean, they're doing it. They're doing it unbelievably because, like you said, the amount of points that they've scored this year to start the season is probably the most that I've ever seen them score in their history.
Well, you know, my favorite stat, like I've said a bunch of times, is the plus minus, right? But in the NBA, I looked up the you know, in soccer, a lot of people look at the goal differential. Here we're looking at point differential here in the NBA. The Miami Heat, and I know it's only 4 games in, but they are far and away. Oh, no, I apologize. I take that back. I was wrong. They have the second highest point differential. The Spurs, 66, positive 66. The Heat, 63. And then in third place would be the Thunder with 37. So the Spurs and the Heat are far and away dominating the competition more than anybody else, which is interesting because the next game is in San Antonio against the Spurs. So that is going to be must-watch TV on Thursday in San Antonio. But before we talk about that, real quick, Jaime Jaquez, I feel like we need to just the bounce back that he had from last year. Like, I think a lot of people thought, okay, maybe he'll pick it up this year. Nobody expected these first 4 games. Last night, 28 points. As soon as he came in, he hit that 3. As soon as he came in,
he hit 2 threes in a row.
He had a 3. No, it was a midi, I think, in between, and then he had a 3 after. Like, it was 8 points real quick. And I was like, okay, we got.
And then he had that dunk. Going. Then he had that dunk.
Oof. Yeah, man, it was filthy. 28 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 64% from the field, 50% from 3, 8 for 8 from 3-pointers. I think he hit his first 7 shots yesterday, actually. Plus minus 43. Like, he's leading the NBA in plus minus, I believe. Like, Jaime Jaquez is absolutely balling. And the fact that he's dunking on people brings me some rookie Jaime vibes back. It's just feeling all really good right now, especially with Jaime.
I think it's better than rookie Jaime. I think
Oh, yeah.
he's matured to a level where he understands that he's going to lead that second unit, and he's willing to take the responsibility to do it, and he's doing it fantastically. Right? Not only is he leading that unit, but he's putting up points. He's setting them up, giving away, passing assists, and he's by far been probably the best Heat player this year.
Yeah. And then I don't want to go without giving a couple other people their flowers. Davion Mitchell defensively, again, stepped it up against LaMelo, but 9 assists, only 1 turnover. Again, not turning the ball over, getting those assists. Andrew Wiggins, 3 for 6 from 3, 21 points. And then Jovic and Fontecchio. Jovic is a consistent tempo setter. And then Fontecchio, 3 for 4 from 3. Fontecchio has been a very pleasant surprise because I thought maybe Pell Larson would have like a big year. Fontecchio, no, it completely caught me off guard. What do you think about Fontecchio and Jovic?
I love the Italian Stallion, man. I love the Italian Stallion. He's out there. He gives it 110%. He can hit the open shot. He can drive. He can dish. He can do absolutely everything. He's a better version of Duncan Robinson. He does a lot more than what Duncan Robinson did when he was on this team. But he's taken somewhat that Duncan Robinson role, right? He comes in with the second unit. He looks for his three-point shot. And when he doesn't have it, he's able to put the ball on the floor and find the open player or make his own shot up. So the Italian Stallion has been fantastic. And Jovic has been up and down this year, right? He's had some good games, he's had some bad games. Yesterday, I thought was an okay game. But what he offers is more than just points and rebounds. He offers, that help on the glass. He offers that what you need to push the team in that second unit.
He gets the ball and he starts pushing the ball immediately.
Well, I mean, they're just looking for the outlet right away and running. He's part of that second unit where they like to run a little bit more than the first unit. So, look, I don't have enough words to talk about some of these players because, again, they've started off this season unexpectedly, right? We didn't think that they would be 3-1 scoring, averaging 120 points a game. And that's what we've seen for this team. And it looks like that's what we're going to get consistently game in and game out.
Pell Larson, 17 points, 3 for 6. Everybody shot great from 3. I think the team as a whole, they shot 44% from 3. I think it was Davion Mitchell's 0 for 5 that brought that down because they would have shot over 50% from 3 because they were on fire last night. And I know after the first game and the first episode, we were talking about the way the Heat's offense looked, and you said, well, they can't keep up that shooting. And you're right, they can't. But playing the style of game that they're playing, they give themselves a lot more opportunities to perform the way that they have because all the possessions that they're getting, it's just gonna be fun basketball. And on Thursday, we have the start of the West Coast trip. We got the Spurs on Thursday, the Lakers on Sunday, the Clippers on Monday, the first back-to-back. And then on Wednesday, they have Denver, it's all well established how bad they play in Denver historically. And before they come back home on Friday to play the Hornets. What are your thoughts on the West Coast trip? You 2-2 and you're happy. Like we're going into a 3-1. If we can go out of that 2-2, we're still sitting pretty at 5-3, and almost halfway through that rough stretch to the start of the season. Your thoughts on the West Coast trip?
It's going to be tough, right? You're playing against Spurs, who right now Wemby is, showing the league that he has the ability to be MVP this year. And then you're playing against a Lakers team that, again, they had a couple of players. Austin Reeves go off for 50 the other night. Of course, you're going to have to play against Luka Doncic, which is going to be a nightmare of a cover. And we're going to see who's going to man up on him, right? Is it going to be Bam? Is it going to be Davion? Is it going to be Andrew Wiggins? We're going to have to see. And then historically, like you said, Denver has been a really, really, really rough stop for Miami. Not only because players like to do gummies when they're in Colorado, but yeah, it's always a tough matchup. You got to go up against Jokic, and that's a really good team in the West. But I agree with you. I think you go 2-2. I think the Heat have a possibility to go 3-1 on this road trip, Danny. I think they have a chance to beat the Spurs, even though the Spurs have been fantastic this year. But I just have this feeling,
Well, they're 4-0. They're not going to go 82-0. If they beat the Spurs, which I agree, I think they can. And I'm looking at the Spurs. They beat the Mavericks, which are okay, right? They're led right now by Cooper Flag, which is a rookie, and Anthony Davis. They beat the Spurs. I'm sorry, the Mavericks. They beat the Pelicans, which is nobody's writing home about. Then they beat the Brooklyn Nets, which are probably the worst team in the NBA right now. And then they beat the Toronto Raptors. So yes, the Spurs have looked great, and you can't take it away. You play who's on the schedule. But they haven't played anybody that necessarily is a very good team. Whereas the Heat beat the Knicks, which is supposed to be a top team in the East. Beat Orlando, which haven't gotten off to a hot start, but again, also predicted to be one of the top teams. I think that the Heat are going to be it's going to be interesting. Let me know.
And you missed out. They blew out the Memphis Grizzlies, who were a playoff team last year and who were supposed to be pretty good again this year with Jaren Jackson, with the rest
John
with
Morant.
the rest. I forgot John Morant's name. I can't believe it. With John Morant and the rest of their team. So man, this is the Heat are off to a surprising start, right? 3-1. Not expected with the schedule that they had. Of course, you and I said that after 20 games, we wanted them to be 10-10. But looks like they're going to end up being, a little bit better than that. Maybe 12-8, maybe 14-6. But we'll see, because I think this West Coast trip is going to really tell us a little bit more about what the Heat are going to be this year. It's the first West Coast trip, and they have a really tough 4 games to go.
And get ready for Friday, because if the Heat beat the Spurs, it's only 5 games into the season, but everybody will be anointing the Heat as one of the top players in the league now. It's coming if they beat the Spurs. And I kind of like flying under the radar, but I think that ends if they beat the Spurs. All of a sudden, everybody's going to be on notice. So it's going to, like I said, it's going to be interesting. And then real quick, the Spurs, the 4 games that they beat, that they've won, have been against all teams that are bottom 6 in the league. So we'll see. Interesting. Any final words, Salana?
Two things. If the Heat win against the Spurs, I'm probably going to dress up as Jaime Jaquez Jr. on Halloween. Absolutely, yeah. So I'll have to get a headband, and he's been awesome this year. And the other thing I just wanted to say a special thank you to the Miami Heat for putting on a fantastic event on Monday for the season ticket holders. We were out there, took my son. He was able to take a free throw on the court. They actually let him take like 3 or 4 free throws, not just one, which was fantastic. He got to meet Jaime Jaquez Jr., Davion Mitchell, Kasparis Yakuchonis, Norman Powell. They were all there. All the Heat players were there. Bam, Tyler, Simone Fontecchio dapped him up. He's an awesome guy. Just major shout out to the Heat. Fantastic event that they put on, and I just wish that other teams in the Miami area would do similar things like the Heat does with their season ticket holders. Because they for me are the best organization in South Florida when it comes to giving back to their fans.
Well, they're one of the top franchises just in sports, period, right? That's what they recognize as, and then they just keep cementing that. All right, well, if you're listening on audio, appreciate you listening to the end. Please leave us 5 stars and a comment on YouTube. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we will be back after the Spurs game Friday, hopefully talking about a win. So until the next one, have a good one.